Hello, Namaste. This is Shivansh Sharma. Welcome to Shivansh Sharma classes. We were understanding the concepts for bank reconciliation and the lecture 2 was completed. This is lecture number 3. Today we are going to learn new concepts like undercasting and overcasting, when we have multiple accounts and the transfer of funds take place from one account to the other. And also we are going to learn a very important concept of adjusted cash book. It is a method where we remove all the errors in the cash book only and then we reconcile, so that our efforts of preparing the reconciliation can be eased out, so that at the end of the month, when we already have so much to do like closing of accounts and other things, then we can focus on other things. And here in bank reconciliation, a lot of effort will not be required because errors would have been removed totally in advance in the cash book only. First, we are going to learn about undercasting and overcasting. Let's pick a question here, question number 21. Question number 21 says that we have overdraft balance of 20,000 here, and the points are given as the payment of check. That means check was issued was 550, but it was recorded in the passbook as 1100 because it was recorded twice. So in the cash book I was expecting the payment of 550, whereas in the passbook actual deduction was 1100. So here we were expecting 550 as deduction, but it was actually 1100. So we'll just add here to bring both the balance to equal amount. So this is the adjustment. This was overdraft, so negative 20,000. Next it says about overcasting and undercasting. It says withdrawal column of the passbook. That means payment side of the passbook is undercast. Now before going to the question, we have to understand this concept. This comes very frequently in the questions of bank reconciliation. So we'll understand the whole concept, not just this point. See, casting means totaling. When we make the totaling of accounts, we have two sides, debit side and credit side. This is the deposit side and this is withdrawal side. Whereas in the passbook, it's totally opposite. We already know this concept. The total of the withdrawal column of the passbook, which is this column by the way, this is withdrawal column, and for the passbook it should be this one, right? This is why we reconcile these two sides. Totaling of the withdrawal side is undercast. That means this side is totaled less. Let's say I was having balance of 10,000 here. So they are saying here I have the totaling which is 200 less. This is the payment side. I don't need to consider signs here because I'm preparing accounts. Debit already represents the payment. So 9800. What I should do to bring these to equality? I have skipped the payment of 200 somewhere. So I just need to record the payment of 200. When we consider signs, that means when we actually make our analysis like we usually do for the points, here I was expecting the payment of 10,000, whereas here I was just having the payment of 9800. What do I need to do to bring these to equality? I'll just subtract 200 more. So this is my adjustment. Okay, tomorrow they can say this is a receipt side which has been undercast. So this is a receipt side. Let's say it was 15,000. I'm not taking these balances now. I'm taking separate example 15,000. So this should have been 15,000 as well, but let's say this was coming 16,000. So can I say my deposit column, that means my receipt side for the cash book, was undercast by 1,000 rupees. Here I was having 15,000. Here I was having 16,000. Undercast of cash book. Therefore I'll just add 1,000 here. So this is how you basically do. There are two sides. Both the sides can be total wrong. So to reconcile it with the other account, we have to make the adjustments. So here it is 200 subtract. Let's just understand the concept of overcast as well. In the cash book, I was having the receipt side as 10,000, whereas in the passbook, I was having 11,000. So my passbook is overcast. Let's say passbook is the starting point as well. So cash book 10,000, passbook 11,000. I'll just do one thing, which is subtract from here so that both balances can become equal. If these were the payments, then I would have added to bring them to equality. Okay, I'll just give you a summary in the end so that you can also cram if you want to, but I won't recommend it. But there are certain students who complain then that they are not able to understand, or every time they get the point, should they make the analysis? So just if they want to learn the concept by science, I can also give you the summary, but that's something that I will give you in the end. Next point, they're saying a check of 200 has been debited in the bank column of the cash book, but it was not sent to the bank at all. That means I was expecting 200 to be the deposit in my cash book, but nothing was entered in the passbook. So passbook is the starting point. I'll just add there as well. So 200 should be the addition. I hope you are understanding what I'm saying. I'm not making analysis for this now. 200 should be added. Next, they're saying a check of 300 was debited in the bank column of the passbook, was not sent to bank at all. This is again the same point that they were discussing in the earlier point. This is just change of language. Debit in the bank column means we were expecting the deposit in the cash book. It was not sent to the bank at all. Therefore, the adjustment should be, we'll just add there as well. Okay, 300 should be added. Next, it says 500 in respect of dishonor of check were entered in the passbook but not in the cash book. Okay, so we already know 500 was expected in the cash book, but it was not actually received. So we'll just add there as well, just to make things equal, because passbook is the starting point. So 300 should be added and 500 should be added. And this is coming cash book overdraft, which is why it is credit balance. Let's solve question number 22. Passbook balance negative 20,000. Bank charges as per passbook. Check recorded in the cash book, but it was not sent to the bank for collection. It is basically recorded in the cash book, but it is not shown in the passbook. Passbook is the starting point. We'll just add there as well, because this is the amount that we should have received. So this is deposit. Received a payment directly from the customer. So 4,600 was in the passbook, whereas in the cash book it was not there. So we'll just subtract from the passbook, because passbook is the starting point. Check issued 6980 was subtracted in the cash book but not in the passbook. So we'll subtract there as well. Okay, interest credited by the bank. 100 was added because this is credit in the passbook, but nothing was entered in the cash book. So we'll just subtract 100 from the passbook. LIC paid 2,500. This is basically a standing order. What is standing order? We already ask our bank to make scheduled payments. This is the order that is standing for a particular period, that if this payment comes, you will just make direct payment to the respective party. So this is the order that the customer has given to its bank to make the payment directly on its behalf. So passbook side has already been deducted by 2,500. So just to reconcile it, we'll add 2,500 because the payment was made. Passbook is the starting point, so we'll add 2,500 so that both things can become equal. Next thing is check deposited with the bank but was not collected. This is something that we have discussed in the second point already. Okay, so I'll solve this question quickly for you. This was not complicated, just revision. This is overdraft. Okay, let's solve next question. Now this is the question where we have multiple accounts and there will be transfer from one account to the other. If you remember my other discussion that we have already done, where we had multiple accounts, here what they are saying, again we have two accounts. We already know when we prepare bank reconciliation, we prepare account wise. So for account 1 there will be one BRS, for account 2 there will be the second BRS. In the question they have asked us to prepare bank reconciliation for account number 1 from the following particulars relating to account number 1. These are particulars for account number 1 only. So we need to prepare BRS for account number 1. If they had given balances for account number 2 as well, we could have prepared BRS for account number 2, but we cannot. The details for that account are not given. But why they have discussed account number 2? Because there is certain transfer that is occurring from one account to the other, which is why this question is being discussed by me. Otherwise we have discussed how to deal with multiple accounts. It is just the transfer which will be new point, and you need to remember that whenever there are multiple accounts, BRS is prepared separately for both the accounts. If there is any wrong entry of other account in our account, we'll just make the adjustment for that. Check paid into bank. Deposit. Paid means deposit. prior to December 31st but not credited. Okay, credit means bank has not credited it, so we'll just make the adjustment for this one. We just need to know the overdraft balance, which is negative 18,990. They were saying 10,000 was expected but nothing was entered here, so we'll just add 10,000 here as well. Next they say transfer of funds from account number 2. This is the important line, from what account the transfer is occurring. Okay, so account 2 is transferring the balance to account number 1 and the balance is 8,000, but the same has not been shown in the cash book. Let's understand this concept. There are two accounts, cash book, bank column, both account number 1, account number 2. Okay, so they're saying that funds transfer happened from one account to the other, account 2 to account 1. This happened only in the passbook because nothing was entered in the cash book. Let's assume some random numbers. Balance was 10,000, balance was 12,000. Okay, the transfer occurred from here to here, which is 8,000. So balance must be 2,000 here, and here we have received 8,000, so this is 20,000. Overall the balance is 22,000. Here also it was 12,000 and 10,000, but transfer entries have not been passed, so again the cash book is showing 22,000 as the balance. We will think that this is reconciling, but no, this is not reconciliation, because we know reconciliation is done account wise. But when we will reconcile these two accounts, here it is 10,000 and here it is 12,000, there will be difference, because 12,000 won't match with 20,000 and 10,000 won't match with 2,000. So how to basically do these reconciliations? On the cash book side, nothing was entered and passbook was my starting point, so I just need to bring this 20,000 to 12,000. So I'll just subtract 8,000 from here and I'll just add 8,000 here. Okay, this is how this will reconcile. This will become again 12,000 and this will again become 10,000, right? Since we are preparing bank reconciliation for account number 1, we'll just subtract 8,000. So this is the main adjustment. Okay, we'll discuss the other point as well. Let's assume this is cash book, this is passbook. Account 1, account 2, account 1, account 2. Let's assume there was a situation where the balances were 10,000 and 20,000, 10,000 and 20,000. These are random values that we have assumed, but cash book is now the starting point and transfer occurred this time from account number 1 to account number 2, right? But this has not been shown in the passbook. Let's say 8,000 transferred, so this was 2,000, 28,000, right? Normal student would assume, or they won't even know the analysis because teachers make you learn these concepts by science. But here the balance will be what, 30,000, and here also this will be 30,000, and we will think that this is reconciliation. No, account wise we need to do the reconciliation. So this 2,000 has to be matched with 10,000, so we'll add what, 8,000 here. Okay, and we'll subtract 8,000 from here, so this will reconcile, right? So this is how you deal with the transfers. So 8,000 subtracted. Since this is the BRS for account number 1, details for account number 2 are not given, so we'll just ignore that. But if they were given, we would have added, because funds transferred from account number 2, so we'll just add to account number 2. Next they say checks issued, we know this adjustment. Bank charges we know, interest debited we know, overdraft, this was a starting point, so I'll just make remaining adjustment for you. Okay, this is again overdraft as per the cash book. Question number 24, this is very easy question. I'll just solve this question for you on the screen, but you know how to solve this because all the things that they have discussed here are already discussed. Check drawn means check issued, check paid means check deposited, check deposited if directly given will deal the same. Everything we have already discussed. Same goes with question number 25. This is again very easy. Next we are coming with new concept, which is amended cash book or adjusted cash book. Okay, this is a concept where all the mistakes that we did on our part will remove all those errors and then we will reconcile. Let's assume one example of bank interest. Bank has already debited here, but nothing is entered here. So adjusted method says that before reconciling, understand all those errors that basically occurred on your part. This is something that you could have removed if you were quite diligent, but you did not check your accounts. So you need to enter these adjustments in your cash book before reconciliation. This is in short saying that remove all those errors that occurred on your part and then reconcile. Okay, so all those entries that were skipped by bank will be done through BRS, and all those entries that were skipped by us will be done in the cash book only. We'll amend the cash book and then we will reconcile. Okay, so in the reconciliation only these entries will come. This will help us to remove the errors, and this will also reduce the burden. Basically all the errors will be removed, and on the period end we will have less to reconcile, which is why it will become very easy to reconcile. So all the errors will be removed regularly throughout the period, and on the period end when the reconciliation is made, only those errors will be removed which are done on the part of bank and not our part. Like bank did not clear it, we will adjust these things in BRS, but we have not entered the bank charges because bank has already entered in the passbook, but we have not entered it. So this is our error. So we'll just charge bank interest in our cash book, and if we reconcile, only those errors will be left that were done by the bank, not us. So we are solving question number 26. First we'll solve the old way like we usually solve, and then we'll understand the amended cash book so that we can also compare. Answer will come same. Okay, this is overdraft negative 18,000. Just correct this balance. This is not 16,000, this is 6,000. If you're downloading the file, you'll already get the correct balance because I'll change it then. Okay, this is unpresented check, we'll add it. Uncleared check, subtract it. Bank charges, subtract. Bills collected, this will add. And check of Arun trader, dishonoured, we'll just subtract this. And check issued but not entered in cash book. Please understand this language. Actually it was issued and actually it was subtracted from passbook but not in the cash book. So this is the error on our part. Okay, 600. So we'll just subtract this as well. Okay, so the balance will come. This is check issued but sign will be cash book, passbook. In the passbook 600 were deducted but not here, so we'll just deduct from here as well. Okay, so please understand this adjustment. This was old way, now we'll solve it through the amended cash book. In the amended cash book, what you need to remember is all the points that we missed. We'll just amend the cash book for those. Unpresented and uncleared, it was on bank's part. Interest was charged there but not by us, so this will come in amended cash book. Bills basically collected directly by bank, but we have not amended our cash book, so we'll amend it again. Dishonoured checks, this looks like this should have been the bank's part but not. This is basically our error because we should have checked our customer whether it was able to pay or not. So if check got dishonoured, so we'll have to amend our cash book, not the passbook, because it will never come in the passbook even after we reconcile. So this is on our part. Okay, this will never honor now. The customer will have to give us the new check then. Okay, so this check will never clear. This is our error. Understand it like we should have checked our customer. It is not bank's problem. Okay, bank takes responsibility only for these two. Check issued, this is again our error, not bank's, because bank has already passed. So this will again come in amended cash book. Many of you will confuse here. This was our error because we did not enter in the cash book. Bank actually passed in the passbook. So first we'll prepare the amended cash book. You know, deposits all debit and credit all withdrawals. Okay, so the overdraft balance, overdraft means credit balance. So by balance BD, the brought down balance was 18,000. Okay, and we need to charge bank interest. Bank interest will decrease our balance. Then there was a check that got dishonoured, and this was from Arun traders. Okay, so Arun Traders, we can also call it cheques dishonoured, 1000. Next, cheque issued. So this is again going to decrease my account. Bills collected. So bills collection will increase our account. So this is 1600. This will give us the closing balance of amended cash book as 19,000. You know this is going to be overdraft again. This is not positive balance. Now BRS will be prepared bank reconciliation statement. Overdraft as per amended cash book is 19,000. Okay, and the two adjustment unpresented checks, we'll just add it. This will be 6,000, and uncleared checks, this will be 3,400. Okay, so this will give us balance of 16,400. Again the same balance is coming for the passbook, but you can see this will be done at the end of the period, whereas these will be done whenever the points will be coming. So we'll be adding these points to our cash book whenever we'll come to know about these points. We won't wait for reconciliation to happen. Okay, so whenever reconciliation happens, we will be having already amended cash book, so this will reduce the burden of reconciliation. Okay, we'll solve few more questions on this. Question number 27, it says that bank balance is 11,500. This is positive. Cheque issued, this is not on our part. Basically, cheque paid into bank, cheque deposited but not cleared. This is not again on our part, so this will go in reconciliation. Interest on investment collected by bank but not entered in the cash book. This is our problem. So for 11,500, we'll just make amended cash book. This is positive balance, so it will come on debit side cash book. Balance BD 11,500. I have received the interest, so interest received will increase our account, so we'll just debit interest on investment 275. Next they say local checks paid in but not entered in cash book. Paid in means we were expecting deposit, but they were not entered in the cash book. So 300 was check deposited and it was actually received as well in the passbook but not entered in the cash book. So 300. Now there are bank charges of 25. This will give us balance CD of what? 12050. So this is debit balance. The reason is because debit side is larger as compared to credit side. So this comes just to balance, otherwise this is debit balance. So if we prepare BRS, to this we'll just add unpresented checks and we'll subtract uncleared checks. 1750 and 2150. This will give us positive 650 passbook balance. Now your homework will be you just solve this through old method and check if the same balance is coming. But practically this is the correct method, because whenever there will be any error, we'll just amend our cash book. We won't wait for the reconciliation. Next question, question number 28. This is basically my cash book for December 2017. They have given receipts, opening balance. This is overdraft because this is coming on credit side. Payments we have made and the closing balance. Of course, we'll start from the closing balance. This is overdraft because this is coming just to balance. Okay, so this is credit balance because my credit side is larger as compared to the debit side, which is why this is coming to balance. So this is credit balance. Overdraft. Bank charges, our mistake. Check drawn but not presented, bank's mistake. Not mistake basically, but yes, we'll just blame bank for it. Why it is not cleared yet. Okay, check received totaling this much, but same has been deposited but not credited by bank. Bank's mistake, not a mistake, it will go to BRS. A check of this has been entered as receipt in the cash book instead of payment, our mistake. Okay, a check of 225 has been debited by bank. Okay, so this is bank's mistake, so we'll correct it in BRS, not here. A check received of 720 has been returned and it is said basically there was no funds available. In short, it is saying dishonoured, and since it is dishonouring, we should have checked our customer's credibility. So this is 720. Next it is saying all the dividends were received, so we have received directly in the passbook, so it is our mistake that we have not entered it in our cash book. So we'll just amend our cash book. Check drawn 54 has been entered in the cash book, our mistake. The brought forward balance is this. I will discuss this point later on. Okay, and BRS showed the balance of 10,458. So when we will start the reconciliation, we will take this balance, but for our amended cash book, this will be the balance. Okay, so for amended cash book, 49686 will be the balance, and for the BRS, negative 10458 will be the balance. Okay, so we'll just start the process. Cash book, since it was balance CD, we will brought it down by calling it balance BD. This is overdraft 4986. Next point, it says bank charges 1224. Therefore bank charges 1224. Our mistake, because bank has already entered it, but we did not enter it. Next point, checks drawn not presented, bank's mistake. Check totaling, not a mistake. Again, check of 198 has been shown as receipt in the cash book, whereas it was the payment. We should have charged it, but we have shown it as deposit. So we'll just make double adjustment for it, and it will be 396. Next, 225 was debited by bank. So this is bank's mistake, not our mistake. Check received for 720 returned by bank. So this is dishonor. We have discussed this. Checks dishonored 720. Next, dividend has been received directly in the bank. So we should also enter it. A check drawn of 54 has been incorrectly entered in the cash book. We were expecting a payment of 54. Drawn means check issued, that means deduction, but it was actually entered 594. To bring it to negative 54 from negative 594, we'll just add 540, right, so that this can become negative 54. So we'll just add 540. Next, it says that the broad balance should have been 6399, but actually it is what? 6849. So 6849 minus 6399. So this is actually 450. My opening balance was 6849. Actually this should have been 6399 since this was overdraft already. So I'll just add 450, right? So I'll just write down on the opposite side. One thing that I will ask you to focus on here is that we should compare it with the original brought down balance, because there were certain payments and there were certain receipts after it. So even this balance is exceeding by 450 rupees. This is overcast. So when we have brought it down, so this is again having 450. So we'll just subtract 450 by writing it on the opposite side. But when we make the comparison, we need to compare the original brought down balance. Okay. So this is coming to balance CD 5778, right? And this is overdraft because this is coming on opposite side just to balance, credit balance basically. Now we will prepare bank reconciliation statement. Now for the first time what they are saying is that instead of using this balance, you start from the passbook 10458, okay? And when we will come to the closing balance, cash book balance, we will only adjust those errors which were on bank's part. So we will come to amended cash book balance. Earlier what we were doing was that we were using this balance only here. We were making the adjustment and we were solving the question. And this was coming passbook balance. But here they are saying passbook balance is already given, which is correct balance. You just need to make the adjustment so that the amended cash book balance can come. What were the errors on bank's part? They were first check drawn, okay? Since passbook is the starting point, this time this will be what? Subtracted, okay? This is check issued. Drawn means issued. Check received, this is check deposited, so this will what? Add, okay? And next error was basically when bank debited something wrongly, okay? I guess you have understood this point. Passbook wrong debit of 225, cash book no error, okay? But this was the mistake of bank, which is why we did not bring it to the amended cash book. Otherwise this should have come to cash book. This was wrong debit, so we'll just add 225 here so that both sides can become equal. So 5778, your negative balance cash book. And if you compare it with this one, again the same balance is coming, bank OD, right? And negative 5778. This is coming equal to the amended cash book balance, okay? 5778, overdraft as per cash book. We'll solve question number 29 now. So homework will be preparing through the old method. Here we are solving question number 29 as per the amended cash book method. So they have said cash book balance is 400. Okay. Check received and recorded in cash book, not a mistake. Check deposited to a bank but not recorded in the cash book. This is our mistake. So we'll just add 2000 in our cash book. The next is check issued but not presented, not a mistake. Check deposited but not yet collected by bank, not a mistake. Bank charges debited in the passbook, we should have entered in the cash book as well, 120. Next it is saying bank interest allowed 450 rupees. Again we'll increase our cash book for this. Bank directly paid, so we'll just subtract 400. Interest received 450 and telephone expenses 400. Cash receipt recorded in the bank column. Our bank column has been increased by what? 1000 rupees. So we'll just deduct our bank column by 1000 because this is the error in the cash book. Same cash payment recorded. So again this is a payment side. So we'll add in our cash book just because we want to nullify this payment. Okay, these two errors in the cash book. Wrong credit given in the passbook, not a problem. Bills receivable directly collected by bank. Again this is our problem, we should have entered it in the cash book. So 800 should increase my cash book. So these two entries 1000, 1200 and 800. There is a point that we have skipped in between, which is check issued but returned. This is our mistake. What happened here is I gave some check for the payment to my supplier so that the supplier could take it from my account. The supplier took it to his bank. His bank presented the check to my bank and my bank was not able to pay it. It looks like it is bank's error, but I should have checked my account, right? If it got dishonored, it should have been my problem, right? I may have not entered the date, I may not have signed properly, or the other reasons like I did not have appropriate balance for the payment. So my bank denied the payment, which is why it returned, my supplier returned the check. So this is my problem. 200 check was basically the amount that I was expecting as deduction, but it was not actually deducted. When you will consider this point, you were expecting 200 deduction from here, but nothing was entered here since no deduction was made. This looks like bank's mistake, like we are usually doing in the check issued case, but this is my problem because this got dishonored by me. I did not pay it, so therefore I'll just add. So 200. This will give me the closing balance 3530. I will start from here, cash book 3530. This is positive balance because it is debit balance, opposite side, right? Then I had checks that were unpresented, uncleared. Bank wrongly credited 600 rupees in my account and this was not entered here. This looks like my mistake because I should have entered it, but no, it was wrongly credited by bank. So this will go in my BRS only, but cash book is a starting point, so I'll add 600 here. So I'm getting positive 4300 as the balance. So these were the questions that we have discussed. We have discussed each and every kind of question. And if you liked my way of teaching, please appreciate me by watching ads. Like this video, share the video, subscribe to my channel. If you want to talk to me, just comment on the YouTube channel or you can contact me through my website. Thank you very much and best of luck for your exams.